here with our analysis of CAT 2020. Uh, it took a couple of days to come out with this because we thought that we will let the dust settle. 2 दिन में काफ़ी कुछ हुआ है. You would have seen a lot of analysis. Camera adjust करने दो मेरे को. Yeah, you would have seen a lot of analysis. A lot of people being very critical of IIM Indore as to क्या कर दिया आपने students के साथ, इतना tough paper क्यों set कर दिया. And the paper indeed was tough. Let us be very objective in our assessment. The paper has uh, not been so tough as it was this year. It has not been so tough in the last 4 or 5 years at least as it has been this year. Primarily because of the fact that people were not prepared. They did not know how many questions are going to be there. All that the students knew, or the even the others who were helping the students prepare knew, was that it is going to be a 2-hour exam instead of the normal 3-hour exam, and the fact that each section will be of 40 minutes. Nobody knew how many questions would be there and all. So people were expecting that since 3-hour exam has 100 questions, by same logic, on a pro rata basis, the 2-hour exam will have about 66 to 67 questions. Now this did not happen, and this disappointed the people a lot. There were 76 questions across all three slots, and people were very disappointed because the number of questions went higher than they would have expected it to be, and also the fact that the questions were indeed tougher than they have been in the last couple of years, particularly in DILR and English VARC sections. Uh, but then can you really hold it against IIM Indore or the IIMs if the CAT is really tough? No, you cannot. It is about you going there with a fixed idea that itne questions hone chahiye. Then they never said itne questions honge. So if you really were flexible in your approach, uh, you would have been far better off, and you would not have been so critical as a lot of experts have been. So our team of experts also took this exam. We had people from IIM Calcutta, IIM Bangalore, XLRI, etc., who actually took this exam themselves, and their observation was that yes, the questions were indeed a little more difficult than they have been in the last couple of years, and the time pressure, of course, was more because of higher number of questions being there. We would now want to just talk about one thing. Think of IIMs as your destination, and think of CAT as the river that you have to cross to reach that destination. While you can still complain that on the day that you had to cross the river, it was very turbulent or the water was very cold, it doesn't really help. You have to concentrate on your swimming and try and learn and become a good swimmer who can adjust to any kind of waves or any temperature of the water, and is able to reach the other side of the river on which stands the destination that you want to reach. No point blaming the river for being very turbulent on certain days, being very cold on certain days and all. Okay. So I hope you get the analogy. All those who were well prepared and who could remain positive and focused on the questions that you could have or they could have would have done better in this exam. So we will now have a closer look at all the sections, and we will then go to the percentile predictor. I hope all of you can see the screen now. Okay. So there were three sections like always. 76 questions were there across three sections. 26 questions each in English, or as we call it, the VARC section and the quant section, and 24 questions in DILR. Let us now look at the types of questions that were there. The VARC actually had 26 questions, and out of which it had 4 RC passages, and these RCs were really tough. They were on very abstract topics or from very abstract areas, and the questions were not direct. There were no questions which were fact based or no direct questions. Most of the questions were inference based, and some of them were double negative questions. Questions where they were probably asking you which of these, if not true, would weaken the author's argument. So you really had to think about what exactly they are asking. So there were no straight questions. So our calculation is that if you were able to attempt two passages and answer all the questions from the two passages with a reasonable accuracy of about 85 to 90%, you have done a very good job. Do not worry too much about it. On the VA part, there were 8 questions. The questions were reasonable, doable, and those who really are good at solving these kind of questions like the para jumbles or the sentence elimination or para summary would have really enjoyed solving them. So while we always say that it's what exactly works best for you, for those who really thought that the RC passages were tough, the ideal strategy would have been, and I'm sure a lot of you would have applied that strategy to attempt the VA questions first. So 8 questions done in 7 or 8 minutes flat would have left you with about 33 minutes to attempt uh, the 4 RC passages. Again, it is futile to think that you will attempt all 4. So I would really want any student to plan it in a way where the student leaves out one passage which appears to be on a difficult topic or on which the questions appear to be tougher than the other passages and concentrate only on the 3. Out of 3, if you are able to answer 2 or 2.5, you have done a reasonably good job. Let us move on to DILR, which I think was the toughest section this year, as it has been for the last couple of years. There were 5 sets. 2 of these sets had 6 questions each, and 3 sets had 4 questions each. Now, none of the sets were easier, they were moderate to difficult. The sets which had 6 questions were really tough, and if you got stuck in one of them and spent about 10-11 minutes and then still could not solve any questions and then you panicked, I mean, tough luck. Because if you really went through the sets carefully and picked up probably 2 sets which you could have answered, you would have ended with a very decent score here. So again, the whole focus is on intelligent selection of questions or sets in case of DILR that you could probably answer or you could have answered, and you have some of you have answered. So again, if you could attempt 3 sets, answer all questions uh, which were there on the against these 3 sets, and you had a you think you will have an accuracy of 85-90%, you have done a very good job. Do not worry too much about it. If these 3 sets involve one bigger set, then of course you have done even better. The sets were indeed tough, some of them, but there is no point discussing what was there in those sets because CAT is not going to kind of uh, it's not going to use the same sets again in any exam going forward. But of course, we will come back to you later with our solutions of each of these sets. The quantitative ability section was relatively easier compared to the VARC and the DILR section. It had a good number of questions from arithmetic, algebra, and geometry. So anybody who really is not very strong in math, so people from humanities or commerce background, if you had concentrated only on these 3 areas, leaving aside the questions from modern maths or number system, etc., you would still have been able to attempt about 16 to 18 questions. So with a reasonable accuracy of 85-90%, you would still be getting about 14-15 correct, which is a very good score here in this section this year. We will now look at the percentile predictor. Uh, we all know that if the set, the question is paper is tougher, the cutoffs are of course lower. So this year, if in VARC, if you are going to get a net score of anywhere between 30 to 31, you can expect a 90 plus percentile. I hope you can see the screen and you can note it down. Likewise, for 99.5 plus percentile, the expected score for VARC is in the range of 44 to 45. I hope you all know that 99.5 plus percentile means very high rank and you can expect a call from most of the top institutions. Of course, there are other variables that they take into account, like your background and whether you have work experience and not, etc. Not necessary that people with work experience have an advantage. Most IIMs now prefer the right mix of freshers as well as people with experience. Similarly, they prefer the right mix of people with arts, humanities, commerce background with the people from engineering background. In DILR, if you got anywhere between 21 to 26 points marks, you can expect a 90 plus percentile. If your marks are going to be anywhere between 35 to 39, you will be in the 99.5 plus percentile category. So 39 is only about 13 correct answers net of mistakes, not too much out of 24. If you could not attempt about 10, 11 or got them right does not matter. I mean, getting all 10, 11 of them wrong would matter because it'll, the MCQ questions will have a negative marking. But if you could attempt only 15 and got 13 right, you are there. You are at 99 plus percentile, 99.5 plus percentile, in fact, as per our predictor. In quant, for a 90 plus percentile, the expected score is anywhere between 31 to 34. And for a 99.5 percentile score, it is expected to be anywhere between 46 to 49. You can check the ranges for other percentiles on the screen and see how it works for you. So again here, 48 is 16 correct questions net of your errors. So 16, 17 out of 26 is a very, very good score in quad this year. If you concentrate only on the areas from which you could answer questions, you could have attempted 16 to 17 questions and got most of them right. Overall, if you look at it, I hope you understand that the overall percentile is not a summation of the individual section wise percentiles, because not everybody gets the highest score in each of these sections. It will vary from section to section. So the overall percentile predictor tells us that if you are going to get a score of anywhere between 75 to 81, you can expect a 90 plus percentile. Similarly, at the top rung of the ladder, if you are going to get anywhere between 114 to 120 marks, you will get 99.5 percentile or above. 99.5 percentile, I repeat, is a score where you will get a call from almost all the top colleges. So you see, while the paper was tough indeed, the time pressure was more. If you had really focused on the things that you could attempt or the questions to which you could really provide the correct answer, you would still have been able to answer enough questions correctly for you to be able to get a very good score. See, for 99 plus percentile, 105 means what? 35 correct answers out of 76. You could leave out the majority of the questions, and still, 35 is not even 50% of the total questions. Only by answering 35 questions correctly, you could have got, you can still get, or if you have answered, you will get 99 plus percentile. So 35%, sorry, 35 questions out of 76 means what? You could have left out about 30, 35 questions, and still with a 90% accuracy would have been able to get 35 questions right. So it all boils down to how well prepared you have been, how composed you remain during the exam, not getting unnerved by the questions that you cannot really answer. Focus on the ones that you can, and I'm sure for a well prepared student, there will be more than 50% questions that the student can correctly answer. If only you can concentrate on them, you will come out on top in an exam like this. I do not largely agree with most of the people who are saying that it is very tough, it should not be so harsh on the students and all. I'm just going back to my analogy. It's a river. You cannot really blame the river to be very turbulent on one day or very cold on the other day, because you are feeling uncomfortable. You have to master your swimming so that you are able to adjust your swimming to the river and reach the other side. You are not there to fight with the river, you are only there to reach the other side. We at Eklavya try and help the students by making a very student specific, modular and flexible study plan which helps the students to concentrate on their strong areas and accordingly strategize to take the exam in a manner which brings the best out of them. If you are really interested in knowing more about our methodology, and we are a team of ex IIM alumni, ex XLRI people, if you want to know. And it's all a one-on-one coaching that we provide. There is no batch system. Every session is a one-on-one session. So if you really want to know more about our method, if you are really interested in seeking any kind of help, we'll be more than happy to provide you with the same. Please note down the numbers on which you can get in touch with us. It's 6205299243 or 8709280927. You can also send us an email at eklavya.sanjeev@gmail.com or sanjeevkum.sk@gmail.com. You can also visit our website eklavya.learning.in, or you can visit our Facebook page and get in touch with us or know more about us. We'll be more than happy to assist you in your preparation or your quest to get into one of the top MBA colleges in India. So thank you for watching. I hope it has been of help. Stay positive, work hard, and do well. All the best, and thank you for watching.